Welcome to the Cricket Pulse by LGW, your front row seat to everything cricket. I'm Lloyd,
I'm George.
And I'm Will.
and together we are LGW.
LGW.
We are three cricket tragics who spent years watching, arguing, analyzing, and loving the sport, from early morning tests to midnight T20 thrillers.
And this podcast is our space to bring those conversations to you, the debates, the predictions, the breakdowns, and possibly a bit of friendly banter along the way.
We are here to talk about the game, the international, every angle, the glamour, the glitz, and everything under the sun.
Every week, we'll dive into what's happening in the world of cricket, big performances, tactical insights, controversies, and trends shaping the past and the present and within the sport.
Well, we'll also bring you deep dives, things like what makes a great captain or a great wicketkeeper, how technology is changing the game for good or for worse, and why women's cricket is having its moment right now.
But most of all, this show is about passion, like yours and ours alike. Whether you are a die-hard fan, a weekend player, or just someone who loves good cricket, this space is for you.
So let's grab our headphones, let's settle into our seats, and let's join us all in this wonderful journey where we kick off the Cricket Pulse, where we just don't follow cricket.
We live it.
Let's get started.
So, boys, first thing I want to ask was, I think we together have been friends for about 25 years right now. I think we've come from India over to the UK. And to start off with, I think let's do a quick introduction among ourselves, just to our viewers and to our listeners. To start off with, I'm Loy, and I've spent about 25 years, 25 to 30 years in India, again, playing, watching cricket. And then I've been here in the UK for the past 9 years. And I, again, have started playing cricket over here at a club level. I've enjoyed my time both in playing, watching, and listening to about cricket. And I have had one of the best times in my life because this sport has given me a lot, not just in terms of the enjoyment while playing, but also the friendships, memories, and a lot of different things, which has helped me grow as a person. So, George, what about yourself?
Well, me, I'm no cricket player, to be honest. The best position I played is that of a water boy to our cricket teams. But I'm more of a stats man. I love watching cricket. I love the statistics, analysis. I love the game. I follow it religiously. Um, and yeah, like Bijoy said, we all grew up together. India in a little city called Bangalore. I wouldn't call it little. It's the best city that to grow up in. But fate has it that we all ended up in the same country with the same professions. In fact, we even went to the same university. So yeah, amazing life we've had together. Great friends for so many years. Now even our families are friendly and we catch up quite often, although we're in different parts of the UK. But yes, one thing that we always banter about is our love for the game. And as far as I'm concerned, just stats. These two still play. So I'm not one of them, though. Over to you, Will.
uh, it's amazing to actually be amongst our friend circle and sharing one of the passions. So as Bijoy mentioned, I mean I've been here in the UK for the last 12 to 13 years, just like George, and all these years, one of the things that I absolutely missed was playing in the streets, playing with friends. Like there was a I've come to a situation right now, or a stage in my life, where I can possibly afford anything that I want to buy, like a cricket bat or a tennis ball. The one thing that I can't find is the 11 players who can join and play with me in the evening. That's one of the things that I actually miss being in this country. But other than that, we look forward to the summer season out here. Summer is absolutely a cricket season, and I played for a couple of clubs out here in the UK. Very passionate team, and I see bunch of lads coming from India, and they set up and they come in here, and they also want to be part of the club. And I can see the passion. They just transfer everything over to the UK, and it's so nice to see. At some point, I mean, if you see, there is one club in the UK right now which has almost like 11 to 12 teams, all consist of our the Indian boys who've come from India, who are students out here and all working over here itself.
Are
All
you
of
talking
them
about
share
league?
one common passion. Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic to see that. Imagine, if you want to play a tournament, you don't actually have to find an opponent to actually play. Your team itself, your club itself has about 11 teams. So you can play amongst each other.
Brilliant.
That's how it
That's a
works.
pretty big
So,
club.
yeah.
Great
So
stuff. Great stuff,
that's,
boys.
Well,
yeah.
So on to some quick memories from our childhood again. I think for us, we've again cricket has been always there and from our childhood till this age right now. But in terms of what are your fond memories, I think for me, I'll start with myself again. Again, fond memories for me from childhood was I think during the summer holidays, the first thing which we used to do was no alarms, nothing to wake us up. Unlike today, we've got 8 alarms, 9 alarms ringing in the morning to try and wake us up. But then at that point in time, you want to play cricket, and the passion for the game is such that morning 6 o'clock, no alarms, you wake up, you pick up your bat, you pick up your bike, and they're off to the ground to play with your friends. And then no lunch, sorry, no breakfast, no coffees, no teas, no water. But then you end up playing for hours together, and then you get back home just for some rest, just to grab some a bite to eat, and then you're back in the ground again in the afternoon. And I think that's for me memories from my childhood, which always stays with me. And I think it was one of the most memorable times for me as a kid growing up because it also gave me the camaraderie, the friendship, the team spirit, and also the passion for the game. What about you,
I think
George?
that's what I think that's what we call gully cricket, which translates to street cricket. It was pretty much the same, but the difference was I didn't need a bike because hop, skip, and a jump, and we had a cricket ground right in front of our home where we lived. It was a small flat. I remember run down the stairs and you're facing the cricket ground, and then the best part being, the ground would be occupied. There'd be about um, 10, 12 different games running at the same time, different pitches, and it's sometimes it's um, at least 10, 12, if I'm not wrong, and different teams playing different at different positions, but we never ever clashed. I mean, we used to run into each other at times, but we just got on, and it was amazing. So gully cricket was that, and sometimes even on the streets, on the roads, all we needed was maybe a bat and a ball and maybe a wall to draw the wickets, or even make two
Bricks.
wickets with bricks and stones or sticks, that fall off the branches or etc. I mean, also that worked then because the roads were a lot less busier. I mean, you can't do that in Bangalore these days, um, obviously. But that being said, fond memories, like you said, Loy, I could possibly. I remember. I mean, parents used to call us. My mum used to call me. Only to come grab a bite. Maybe it always used to be a wrap with a jam spread on it with butter, wrap and run, run back. Yeah, all we needed was just a bottle of water, and we just got on through the whole day. But professionally, like I said, the best position I played is a water boy, nothing more.
For me, I don't know whether you guys. I mean, it's not that I know it's something that you won't remember, but the thing that came when George was explaining about the way he played on the streets and drawing the wickets and all on the walls, I remember fondly about all the kind of strange rules that we actually played with. One pitch
Mm.
out, last man standing and playing, and and funny enough, actually, we used to play on the streets, middle of the streets. As George said, there was absolutely no vehicles back then. But even then, when there was a couple of any cars that used to pass by, we used to have the actual wickets all made of sticks and everything stuck on the road with held on by some bricks and everything. As soon as a car needs to pass by, everyone runs in,
You ever
grabs the stick,
moves
comes
it?
back, puts it. Those were the
Yeah.
funny memories, man. It's such fun to remember. I mean, rivalries are another story because every street had a different team altogether. And when it
Yeah.
comes on a Sunday, you are fighting to get a match with your best opponent. And these guys are okay. I mean, we used to talk with each other every other day. But when it comes to the actual match day, we have absolutely fully prepared to go against them. I mean, those were the days. Those are my memories.
But that brings me to this amazing memory. The bet or the winner used to get the ice cream lolly sticks. They had to buy the opposition team ice cream lolly sticks, toffees, and the
It
guy
could,
who had yeah, go on,
be
Bijoy.
also a lemonade, right? It could be a lemonade. So we
Yes,
used to play. I think who wins the game would get treated with lemonades by the
yes,
opposition team. And I think that's the fun of playing, right? I think even if it was on a weekend, I think that's what. So it's not just the holidays; it was the weekend, and then you're playing on a Sunday with your mates on a ground, and then you have these little bets which you have against each other, and who wins treats the other team, and it's so fond memories. And I think, and that's what is given us that our friendships, or some of our friendships, are developed from there. Some of our working together, the team spirit, the have all come from there. And I think that's made us as better individuals, I would say, as well. But then again, it's also given us the passion for the game, which I think we've never lost. Right from the streets from India to proper cricketing grounds over here in UK. Uh, and that being
It's
said, I think yeah, go on, Wills.
Yeah, no. I just wanted to add another thing. I don't know if you all remember. I mean, the umpires, when there is a rivalry match is happening, we have to nominate an umpire from our team to go in there to be an umpire and to do those work. Imagine the amount of fights we have gone into. Actually, I mean, I can remember hundreds of them because our umpire is always with us,
Mhm.
no matter what. There are some really
Yeah, but then
thick
also
edges that goes to the keeper. That's never keeping out.
when about the rules. I mean, do you remember when people were short? I mean, if we are short on numbers, so the batting team would have to field as well, and
Yeah,
and so as soon as somebody is out, then you come back and bat. So you had to be fielding impartially as well. Now,
yeah.
I mean, the guys when they, especially the batting team that is fielding, if you get a catch, it's like you either get it or no. But if you don't get it, you're doomed. If you get it, you're doomed. It's just that which side is going to actually come at you. I mean, yes,
Similarly,
like amazing things that we could get on with
and
that point.
similarly, as you're saying, George, I think when you are short of players, you would have a batsman in your team who can play twice, or he would play left, right? He would say, okay, you can only play left. If you want to play again, you can only play left, and
Yeah.
and that's an opportunity for you to play twice. And I think people don't pick up on that opportunity again to play.
The
Oh,
best thing
and
about
do you
that is,
remember
I
the
mean, I remember
Joker?
playing something like that. I remember playing something like that, where what happens is when you play for your team and you get out quickly, but unfortunately, when you're actually playing for your opponent, you get into the form all of a sudden and you're bashing for sixes and fours and everything.
Against your own
The
team.
last thing is,
And you guys remember Joker when there's an odd number, the guy who's extra ends up batting twice for both the teams, and he's
Both the
called the
teams, or
Joker. But
bowling twice as
uh,
well. Oh,
crazy, yeah. But we made up so many rules, and possibly that's why you see the Indian cricket team being so successful over the long period of time. The passion starts from the street, and then it just translates onto the field. I mean, it's incredible what IPL has done for Indian cricket, um, and their dominance is really really big. I mean, to a point that it's getting boring now. But that being said, unless they face England or Australia, it's there's some sort of rivalry there. But I mean, but that being said, it's amazing. So, I mean, bringing up professional cricket, what do you guys think about the recently concluded World Cup? I have to mention the women, not the men, the women. It's amazing.
Oh, George, it's been amazing. I think it's been one of those times, honestly, where we we know women's cricket existed, and again, at least for me, we have been following women's cricket for a while. But then
Yeah.
this women's World Cup is just blown out of the water in terms of the fan following, um, in terms of the performances which we've had in this World Cup, in terms of the people engagement, the amount of people who've been watching this game this year, and again. In terms of a team winning outside of the top two teams, or I would say outside of Australia and England, another team winning this World Cup is been a first. And I think hats off to the Indian women's cricket team. I think they've just been amazing to try and dethrone Australia off that throne where Australia has been holding on to that for a while. So for me, I think this women's World Cup has just been amazing. And I think a lot of stats are there to explore. And I would love to hear from you guys as well in terms of what you guys are thoughts are about this World Cup.
Well,
I think
to be
Will.
honest, I wasn't even following women's cricket in the first place. I mean, I had a text message come from George few days after the semifinals, I think. I mean, it was a day after semifinals where
Yeah.
Jemima Rodriguez actually hit the century. And I was like, what is happening right now? Did you say women's cricket? And he said, yeah, it's World Cup is taking place. I was like, I never viewed women's cricket as being very passionately followed by anybody else. But then I actually saw the highlights and I was so surprised to see the amount of people coming to watch the women's team, the Indian women team, and I was blown away. The fact that it's drawing the same amount of crowd, just like the men's team, tells you that that particular this women team is actually grown quite big, and it's almost matching the men's intensity and everything. And God, Jesus, I mean
True.
the finals was fantastic. Let's not take anything away from South Africa as well. They've done pretty phenomenally to actually get to the finals, and they played really well. I mean, tough luck. I mean, they've got this reputation of being a choker for generations now. I mean,
I
my memory
wouldn't
goes
call
back
them that
all the
because
way
they
till
happen to be.
1996 World Cup.
No. So I wouldn't call them that. I think they're one of the best teams around. It's just they ride on really tough luck, or I think they also on big stages sometimes they just don't. I think it's a problem with crossing the line, but. The way they played against the Lionesses, I was watching the semi-final as well. I mean, that their captain Woolward, Laura Woolward, she's been carrying the team really well. I mean, her performance. I mean, can you imagine 500 plus runs in one tournament, centuries in semi-final, final? It's just tough luck is all I can say. That being said, I did honestly, I was backing India simply because every time India wins a World Cup or would they come into the foray, that ends up lifting the sport altogether for the South Asian countries because um, now that India's women's cricket is where it is right now, what it does is automatically lifts the game for Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, Nepal, all of these other teams around. It lifts their game, it motivates them, etc. But because obviously it's been a two-legged, I mean, race or two-horse
It's
race, or
race. Oh,
however you want to
yeah.
call it. But it was always between the Australians and the Lionesses. So to see another team come into play, and I think once they start, we know about BCCI. They've got unlimited resources, and they start I mean, full marks to them for lifting up the Indian game, because I think it was Jay Shah, the previous president, he's the ICC president right now. He equaled the pay for both women's cricket and men's cricket, and the results are there to see. And that was amazing to see. And I think every other team should follow the same thing. And at some
I,
point in time, I think everybody will be on a much equal platform.
I definitely agree, George. And I think it's just been brilliant. I think I want to touch upon a couple of points again, which Wilf mentioned over here, and what you mentioned as well. So in terms of viewership, as Wilfred was mentioning, I think he saw the performances and he saw the stadiums filled with people, and he was amazed by that. And I think, just to give you some numbers, I think the men's T20 World Cup had about 185 million viewers, and that's the same number the Women's World Cup final ODI World Cup pulled in. So I think if you look at
That's
that, the
broadcast
viewership
That
is
is
viewers, right?
crazy. That is crazy.
broadcast viewers.
I mean,
It's increased around the same. And I think, again, going back to the ground where Wilfred was watching the game, and he found that the finals had the stadium packed. The Navi Mumbai stadium was packed. So it's pulling people in. I think that's a good thing. And again, as you mentioned, George, the performances were brilliant again. I think you would see at par or even better performances than what men uh, cricket World Cup or cricket performances are. I think it's in the same levels. As you called out, Wulderwath, she's had an amazing World Cup. She's finished with 169 against our Lionesses, which is supposed to be the highest in the tournament. And again,
Yeah.
she had another century
Sadly.
in the finals. Sadly, she couldn't pull it through to the end, but then that shows the capability of the standout performances. Similarly, if you go back to Indian performances, winning World Cup teams, Jemima Rodriguez, oh my lord, she was amazing in the semifinals. She's gone through a lot. She was going through
She was
depression
battling
because she was not
anxiety, I
picked in the
think.
last,
Yeah.
and yeah, and
Yeah.
coming back and performing in the semifinals where she was not picked in the earlier games, coming back and performing where India chased down one of the highest ever run chases in cricket history. I think it goes back to the belief system within the team and the belief within these players, which is a tremendous, right? And
It
again,
is.
for
I mean,
me, go go on, George.
no. Go on. You finish.
No, I think again for me, um, it's been a complete team effort. And I think we can see that within the team as well. It was not just one single standout performance just trying to win it, but then again, everyone stepping in, playing their roles when they were needed to try and get us to get the team to the end. And I think. It's hats off, and it really, for me, this World Cup has been eye opener for a lot of people, and again for us to try and continue following the sport, continue following the women's cricket, which is going leaps and bounds.
No, like true. I've been following this women's cricket for some time as well. Uh, what goes unnoticed when you talk about India is a lot of things. Lot of things. For instance, they've been playing cricket since 1973. Um, most of the time, women were so badly paid or not paid. In fact, there are times when the women themselves were paying for their own transport, still turning up. They've been turning up for these tournaments. They were turning up for literally next to nothing. They've had to battle a lot of stigma, and still, all those women who turned up in all those years have had a lot to contribute to the current team and their victories. If you look at it, BCCI equaling the pay, it was huge. At some point in time, it was huge. And the contribution of IPL, who went ahead and started the WPL, the Women's Premier League, that contributed a lot. I mean, they did follow the England's cricket model. I mean, obviously, we can take credit for starting the women's game. In fact, the first World Cup was played even before men's World Cup was, and still, I think the stigma was that it was always women were not allowed to play cricket. I mean, do you remember we were having a chat about this, Loy, the other day? Shifali Verma disguising as a boy to go just get time to play cricket, and all those things have come to fruit. And you said it, what you said was right. I mean, bang on target. It was a team effort, because it was not one person or two people or a select number of people. Every game, one or the other woman came, lifted the game, and they had someone who always was a stabilizing factor. Legend like Deepti Sharma. I think she was the highest wicket taker, if I'm not wrong. And then she put in her. She just played Sheet Anchor's role on the final. It was amazing all round performance. I somehow felt that
True.
they
True.
knew they're going to win. They had the right spirit, and therefore I was actually backing them for the final. Too sad that the Lionesses didn't make it, but South Africa again, fantastic. Laura was fantastic. They really played well. Sad that they couldn't get it over the line, but I'm not going to complain.
I,
It
I
was
agree, George.
good
I
for
think
cricket that India won.
well summed up. Well summed up. Well, again, I think in terms of the finals, I know you couldn't catch any of the earlier games, but I think finals. I remember we were watching the game, we were messaging each other, talking about the game. What do you feel about the finals, Wilf? I think I know you were passionate when you were watching that game on the finals as well. And I think we kept cheering on. We were talking about it.
Deep down, even though I wanted India to win, but since I am like an underdog supporter, I remember texting you and telling you I just wanted South Africa to win something this time around. At least women's cricket, they just needed to win something, and I was hoping that they will turn this. But at the same time, you want the Indian team as well to win as well, because the crowd was so passionate. But the interesting thing about the South African team was they are quite big in South Africa as well. It's not like the South African men's team is the best and they are the ones who are always being focused around. But I was surprised to actually read articles about the women's team as well. I've got a member of staff who she's actually from South Africa and she was rooting for her team to actually win. And I was like, is this really this passionate? I thought it's only India which is very passionate. She's like, no, no, no. We've been waiting for an ICC Cup for a very long time. And I really hope that this happens.
Yeah.
So
Bless them.
when I heard that, I was like, I'm sorry. You're South African.
I know
You've got you've got something that
we
none of the
feel
teams in this tournament has, which is to choke at the last minute, which is
we feel
you've got
sorry
to
for
come.
them again. I think again, Wilfred. I think we feel sorry for them. Again, in the nicest possible way, because I think they've proved that they're no longer chokers by winning the men's Test championship, which is kind of
Yes.
big.
Yeah.
They finally beat Australia at that, and they won that. But then again, I think losing semi-finals and losing finals is still ongoing, and I'm hoping they will turn that around sometime. In
To be
terms of
honest,
uh,
in a totally puritanic sense, I've always admired South African cricket, and if I don't know if you guys remember, there used to be this bowler called Lance Klusener. He used to be one of my favorite. He used to generate
all-rounders.
so much pace with his with his jump before bowling, and he used to hammer people around. So I mean, I really wish they won something, at least men's game somewhere. They've always been the one that came too close and didn't cross the line. Something we are probably. I mean, all three of us are aware of as RCB fans. But it was good. Finally, we won something with IPO. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I would never call them chokers. In the purest
Well,
form, they're a really good team, just unlucky. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I've
but then
growing
again,
up
the
listening, watching South Africa play. I mean, the players, Lance Klusener that you mentioned, there were other bunch of lads who were fantastic as well. There was Gary Kirsten, Daryl Cullinan
Oh,
at the opening slot, and these
opening.
guys were just
Oh, and the
absolutely
bowlers, Craig
carnage.
McMillan, Alan Donald.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Alan Donald used to be
they
my
were
favorite.
amazing.
No matter
And
what happens, the guy had such a smooth
they,
run up. The jump, the way
yes,
he swung his
even
arm.
McMillan for that matter. Craig McMillan was amazing. But you're forgetting I know there were controversies, but I really admired Hansi Cronier's
Hansi
captaincy.
Crony.
It's
Yes.
sad that
Yeah.
he had those controversies, but that being as a player, he was immaculate. Just, I mean, I could compare him and his captaincy to Muhammad Azharuddin. He was one of the most stylish players of his time. I mean, Azhar was like the Cantona of Indian cricket, but just sad that he was mired in controversies. But that being said, that's not what we're here to talk about. But I don't want
But
to
true,
steer
boys.
clear. Yeah. So,
Yeah, I think
but
we let's
we will
steering
talk about
back
it in
to the
other
women's
episodes.
But we love to
steering
applaud the
back to our
yeah
women World Cup.
yeah we have to applaud the Indian women's team for winning the World Cup for the first time, beating
Of
Australia,
course.
taking the trophy away from them. So, round of applause to them for doing it in such a stylish
Kudos to the
fashion.
Yeah,
women.
kudos to them. Yeah.
Yes, and coming from I believe they were
And
3 down at one stage, and then
No,
going
they
on to
lost
win the
three
World
games
Cup is a
again. They
big
were
three group
achievement.
close.
stage.
They were close game. They lost
Yeah,
to
they were
Lionesses, Australia, and
they
someone
lost
else.
to South Africa. They lost to South Africa, but South Africa had a really good chase, and they lost to Australia as well. I think that was a
Australia, yeah.
3 games on the trot which they lost, but then they pulled back the rest of the games to try and make it to the semi-finals and semi-finals again. As we saw, I think
I mean,
it was one of the most brilliant games to try and beat Australia at their own game and win the World Cup. That being said, I think. Just asking you guys in terms of what did you guys think of standout performances? What were your standard performances? And I think Wilf, you'll particularly talk about semi-finals or finals because that's where you've uh, followed the game closely. But then George, what do you think has got the standard performance for you within the World Cup?
Laura Woolward, without a doubt. I mean, she was brilliant, but sadly on the wrong side on the final. But come on, that was one of the best performances. And Deepti Sharma as well. She was consistent. She was the legend that held that Indian team together. But Laura Woolworth was absolute. This was her World Cup. And it is really sad that she couldn't lay her hands on the trophy. Not that I'm complaining, but that being said, from her point of view, it's really sad. But one of the best World Cup performances I've ever seen. What a amazing,
Definitely. I think the top score with
amazing,
571 runs in 9 innings with a
yeah,
71 average. Brilliant.
crazy for a
Wilf, what
whole
about you?
tournament.
Well, I personally
Exactly.
I
Wilf, what
saw
about you?
I saw the highlights of Jemima Rodriguez. She was really brilliant, which is when I heard about what she went through and how she came out and she actually won, scored that crucial runs, and chasing 300 is not at all easy, especially when you're playing 50 over games. It's not at all easy to actually stay focused and to play that long innings. And seeing her do that was fantastic. And I also saw another player. She reminded me so much of MS Dhoni, actually. The way she did the cover drives and lofted shot for 6 in the finals. I was like, who is this girl? There was this
Oh
square
gosh,
cut. She did it. Yeah, Ghosh. Yes, that's her name. That's her name. The square cuts were so elegant. The lofted shots were so nice. And I was like, she reminded me so much of MS Dhoni. And I was like, yeah, I was like,
now
she's not
she is a
stopping anywhere.
Dhoni fan. She's modeled the game on Dhoni. She's actually modeled
Yeah.
the game on Dhoni, and she's actually a Dhoni fan. And she's literally the Dhoni of the women's team. But that's because she's a wicketkeeper batsman as well.
Oh, really?
Very
Oh,
good temperament.
that's news to me.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I didn't know that.
yeah.
No.
She is. She
She's
is.
amazing.
Personally, the way she played
She's
was
had
just
an
fantastic.
amazing. She's had an amazing tournament, to be honest, as well.
Yeah.
Wilf. If you look at it, I think it was against South Africa itself in our group stages, and our top order was not a collapse, but then I think we were very short of runs. She comes in the lower middle order, and then she goes out blazing 94 runs in just 78 balls, and she just
Yeah.
took the game away from South Africa. And but then again, we couldn't defend that score because
Finish.
again we
Yeah.
got them down 6 down, 7 down, and it was one of their batsmen who took the game away from us. But I think Richa Ghosh has been amazing, and I think for me, if you ask me, she's going to be one of the standout future stars because she's just about 21, 22, and I think she's going to be one of those star performances for us going forward as well.
Let's not forget Shafali Verma as well. She's similarly about 21, 21, 22, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, she
She's
is.
definitely a future star. I mean, one of the brightest stars that's upcoming.
And
Very
again, if you
good.
look at Shefali Verma's story, George, I think you would
Yeah,
remember that, right? She was not in the team. She was not in the team, and
team.
because of an injury with our opening batsman, Pratika Rawal, she had to step in, and she's come in and she just played a blinder in the finals to get us that start and then take us to victory. I think that's again we look at it.
Pratika was
One of
brilliant
the
as well.
Exactly, exactly. And I think if
Yeah,
you remember, I think on the after we won the World Cup, they got her onto the field, right? She was on a
yeah.
wheelchair. They got her onto the field, and she was part of the group lifting the trophy up, which was such a lovely. Again, it shows the team's camaraderie and the team's what to say the relationship between each of the players and how they kind of look out for each other, which is really amazing.
No, I think that was very evident with Jemima as well. I mean, if you remember what Jemima said, she was battling anxiety, her body was given up, and she had people talking to her, people going up to her, supporting her. And she was talking about even not just on the ground when that was happening, even outside the field. Jemima was talking about it during the nets. She just wanted, I think, was it Harmanpreet Kaur or was it
Smriti Mandana.
Smriti Mandana. Yes, she wanted Smriti's presence, and just Smriti standing there, just watching her was enough. And I think that team rallied around each other and became each other's support system, and that was huge. I think that was one of the X factors and the difference that got them over the line with the cup, but also not to forget or discredit the sacrifices of all those women who've been playing Indian cricket. And we need to also give full marks to BCCI, the way they backed the women's cricket. I mean, what Wilfred said was right. 84,000 people in a packed stadium. I mean, the last World Cup, they were giving out free tickets just to fill up seats. And I think the ticket prices went up almost 200% for this final game. It was just amazing to see.
What happened to
Great.
Pakistani cricket women's team? And I remember seeing some of these little snippets about the players showing eye to other team members. Why are they behaving like that?
They're
I mean, I
more.
don't get it.
I
What's wrong? I mean,
I
they're
think
just
they're
following what
influenced
the
by.
men's team is actually playing.
Yeah, they're influenced by that and their politics. The drama always follows. But what's sad is, when Pakistan cricket team performs, it's amazing for cricket. Yeah. I mean, can you remember the Sultans of Swing, the 90s, 80s?
Oh,
When Pakistan team
Wasim Akram's, the
performed,
Waqar Younis's.
we could sit down and watch the people like Imran Khan, Waqar Younis, then there was Akib Javed, Wasim Akram. All of
Akram.
them were really brilliant, but I don't know what's happened with them. Even Shoaib Akhtar, who came later, all of them. And with bat, Inzamam was a treat to watch. So was Salim Malik. Who once he set his, in the crease, it was hard, so difficult. Javed Miandad. I know he had a lot of antiques, like the modern day cricketers, but he backed it up with his performance. It is sad to see both men and women's cricket with Pakistan go down the drain. It's just so much of politics, so
Yeah.
much of um,
Uh, I know. I think
unnecessary antics.
I know,
Just
and I think we
sad.
should try and keep that away from the sport. And I think that doesn't really help the sport as well. And I think that's something which um, we should try and avoid. I think that's what the cricketing board should try and stick to as well. Because again, I think the Pakistan women's cricket team finished the bottom of the table, which was not a great way for
They
them to
haven't
finish a
won a
World Cup,
single
where they're supposed to
game.
be one of the powerhouses of cricket. So it's really sad. Um, I think let's hope that again for the good of cricket, teams like those try and keep the politics out of it, try and come back and put performances on the field, and try and rise the level of the game, because again, all the teams are trying to do that. And again, I'm sure if you look at it, I think Nepalese cricket again is been growing. I think you can see some standout performances, some fastest centuries, which you could see in the last T20 World Cup as well. So I think there definitely cricket is growing around, and I think a lot of countries are getting to play. And I think if the powerhouses and the yesteryear's top teams don't buckle up and then get in get in the performances what they did have earlier, I think they just fall down the pecking order. And I think it's a shame to see that's happening to West Indies cricket as well today. West Indies was supposed to be the
Oh God.
powerhouses. People were scared to try and go into the West Indies to play a game, and
People
today,
was like, I mean, I remember. Do you remember? I mean, they used to be the team to beat at one point in time. I mean, can you imagine the like Joel Garner or Courtney Walsh and Curtly Ambrose steaming down to bowl, or and with a bat, Sir Viv Richards, and the likes of Carl Hooper, Brian Lara. It was a treat to watch, but it's sad how it's gone. But funny you mentioned Nepal, but I mean, look at Afghanistan cricket as well. It's crazy how well they're, when you put your mind to the game, how you can lift up a team rather than all these politics. And it is sad to see what is happening to Pakistan cricket. It's also sad what's happening to Bangladesh cricket. Is the same thing. But I really hope they can put their mind into the game and try and up their ante and get somewhere close to Afghanistan and what Nepal are doing. I'm sure Nepal and Afghanistan will tower above these two countries if Pakistan doesn't pull up their socks.
brilliant, brilliant. Now on to something a little bit more interesting. I think we'll try and make this a segment on our usual podcast every time when we talk. I want to have a quick fire, and again, I'll try and or not we'll try and focus it on the World Cup, and again, we'll try and pick what we feel within the World Cup we felt were some of the moments. So I think the first one is going to be the player of the tournament. What do you think was the player of the tournament for you, George?
Woolward, without a doubt. I mean,
Will,
without a doubt,
Well,
brilliant
Will,
World Cup.
what about you?
for me, it's
Player?
the name just resonates me is Jemima. She's kind of like a superstar on Instagram as well. She's got so much good connection. Apparently, I happened to see a video of her strumming the guitar and an Australian player actually singing from the other end, and I could see the camaraderie in them and how well they complement each other, and they're like the rivalry stays on the ground but not off the ground, which was absolutely
Now
fantastic
they're
to
all
see.
in the same
And they
team.
seem like an extra talent as well.
DC. I think
Brilliant,
they play
brilliant.
for DC if I'm not wrong. Both of them.
I think they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Healy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's her name. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she's
Ian
the
Healy's
niece.
daughter. Yeah.
She's a niece or
Niece of
Niece or
Ian
daughter?
Healy.
Ian Healy. Yeah.
Niece,
Oh, Ian
not
Healy was
daughter.
another. He was
Uh,
another specimen to say,
Legend.
to
Oh,
say the
God.
least. We'll talk about Ian Healy on another episode.
Good.
Him,
In terms of my
Gilchrist.
Yeah.
So in terms of my player of the tournament, I think I'm going to pick Smriti Mandana. I think she's been one of the superstars for women's cricket in India for a long time, and again, I think she's had a pretty decent tournament, one of the with some really good runs behind her back as well, some crucial knocks, some centuries. So I think for me, Smriti Mandana would be the player of the tournament. I still lean towards Deepti Sharma, who won the player of the series. Because she had some standout performances, but again, for me, I think Smriti Mandana goes for the player of the tournament. In
Not
terms
because
of
not because you have a crush on her, is that? RCB girl,
no,
huh?
because she plays for RCB. She plays for RCB, and
RCB.
that's the reason. Oh, brilliant! Good catch, Sean. Good catch. Hopefully, my wife is not listening to this podcast, so she wouldn't.
Come
kind
on,
of,
she
go
knows.
have a go
She
at me.
knows.
Good. In
Okay.
terms of best innings, what do you go for, George?
Best innings, Richard Ghosh against South Africa. I thought that was a brilliant innings. I think Jemima's innings was brilliant as well, but you have to give it to Deepti Sharma's innings. I mean, batting. I'm not talking about bowling. In the final as well, that sheet anchor role was something like Rahul Dravid. I just she reminded me of that. Just standing there as a wall and still ticking at close to I mean 6 average. It was brilliantly played. I think all of them.
Cool,
But
cool,
yeah,
cool, cool.
it was
Well,
brilliant.
what about you?
Well, to be honest, I haven't followed quite a bit of all these women's cricket, but I will be following more as the day progresses. Whenever they actually play on any of these tournaments, but
Yeah, but
I,
pick one from final.
The
no,
finals or the
I'd
semi-finals?
like to go with Ghosh because I think she was a surprise for me the way she actually played those shots. Normally, I associate women's cricket being okay, you just hit the ball gently, run around, possibly just score a boundary here and there. But she turned out to be an opposite of that. She could actually play in the men's team if she was able to if someone could give her an opportunity, because the kind of cover drives and the lofted drives that she was doing was brilliant. So I think she's my pick, and one of her innings in the finals was a highlight for me.
Okay, brilliant, brilliant. I think for me it was again, George. You spoke a lot about World Watts and I think innings, and I think her 169 for me has to be the pick because it was a
Yeah.
semi-finals. It was against our Lionesses, where we did want Lionesses to win, but then actually he took the game away. The 169 in that semi-final was absolutely brilliant. So I think in terms of her best innings, I think I would give it to her. Even though I loved Jemimah's innings in the semi-finals, I think I would have to give to World Watts 169.
But I think we need to give a shout out to Shefali Verma. She was brilliant in the
No.
finals as well. That was an
You
amazing.
bet. You bet.
That was an amazing inning,
Two
and
innings, I think,
her
semi-finals and
story,
finals, I think she did.
her story
And the
as well.
story, yeah.
Loy, yeah, brilliant.
That was even surprising for me as well, George, because I think I never knew about that about that uh, stat of fact, which we can call, where she had to dress up as a boy and go play with the boys to try and get a game out, which was like, and I think
You know, that's
going back to that point, we would no longer have any women dress up as a boy right now because I think the exposure what this
exactly,
tournament and the exposure what the
exactly.
win of this World Cup is given to just women cricket in general, to all the girls out there who want to play is amazing. And I think it's just going to up the opportunity, the belief in women and girls to try and go and approach this game and play this game. Um, so yeah, hats off
I
to
I think
that.
there's going to be a lot of money that's going
Yeah.
to be
Now,
poured into this women's team as well, because I think this tournament is going to kick off into a different territory. I mean, I can only associate our Lionesses, what they did in the World Cup and the in the Football World Cup that recently happened here. The way the whole country, we all rallied around our women out here. That's possibly is what's going to drive across the globe for the cricket sport as overall. And I think one of the things that's going to explode much more across other countries, I think it's going to be T20 tournaments. I think if BCCI, because being so rich, cash rich, and everything, they just need to pour some money into different other countries. They are passionate, but they need to get that funding to be able to come and represent in these big tournaments. And I'd like to see some new rivalries coming up. And one of the things that men's tournament is actually doing, I mean, this Afghanistan team is now seems like the worthy successor of Pakistan right now. So they seem to be much more powerful than the Pakistani team right now. So which is nice to see, but we also want to see Pakistan doing really well and also competing quite well with the other members of the other countries as well. But hey, that's me thinking too
yeah,
much and
can
I
I be honest? The
expecting.
way Pakistan cricket is working. No, sorry to interject, but to be honest, that point about Pakistan cricket, the way Pakistan cricket is moving, I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. They need to sort out a lot of nonsense, especially get this politics out of. I mean, cricket. And I think
Cricket.
that's the biggest drawback. I don't know if that country will ever go back to the glory days if it continues this way.
Have they
I
handed
don't
over
see a
that
light at the end
trophy
of the
to
tunnel
India, by
for
the way?
Pakistan, at least not with the country. That's a totally different
Not yet. That's
topic, but
not yet.
they haven't. But we know what's going to happen.
Happen
I
anyways.
mean, yeah. So let's not talk about it now. But we will have. We should actually
Cool.
talk about it, but in a different episode.
Episode,
I mean,
yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I think let's do that.
Yeah.
And
He's a clown.
and in terms of quick fire, I think I have a last question. Again, George, if you've got anything, we'll try and talk to that as well. But I think I have one. What was the most exciting match for you in this World Cup? What games would you talk about? Or what one game would you think is one of the exciting games which you guys enjoyed? I'll go to Wilf first this time. Wilf.
I mean, I would like to say the one that got my attention was the semifinals with Australia and India, because that's the only thing that got me watching women's cricket. And I actually set a time for me to actually sit down and watch the finals. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even paid attention, because all of a sudden when I'm actually looking at it, I'm seeing a packed stadium. I went in to turn on the TV and I looked at it and it's like, okay, expecting some few fans here and there sitting. I didn't expect the whole stadium to be full. So yeah, there you go. That was the
Yeah.
turning point for me. Actually, that's
Cool.
one
George.
of those things that I enjoyed.
No, mine's the same. It's the semifinal because I think watching it live, it was a completely amazing experience. Like live as in telecast, not in the ground, because it was nail biting, and that inning of Jamima and those quick fire partnerships with Harmanpreet was brilliant. That
Good call.
partnership, and then everyone else that chipped in, it was brilliant, brilliant innings, and really good team effort, and that was a special game. To be honest, full marks to them.
True, George. I think for me, it was for me again. It's not a crucial game, but I think for me, it's going to be India and New Zealand, just for the matter of fact that we had to win that game to qualify for the
Yeah, do or
semi-finals.
die.
So do or die game. So I think for me, the team again came in. They had the belief and they delivered over there. So for me, I think I would just pick that game. Just so that I don't pick the same game as you guys. as much as we have a lot of things in common, I wouldn't want to pick that game anyways. So yeah, that's a quick fire from me. Anything from your side, George, in terms of anything which you had?
No, I wanted to mention the moment that I cherish the most in the World Cup. I mean, we were chatting about that the other day. I think the moment of the entire tournament was watching Harmanpreet Kaur jump into her dad's arms. That felt so special for me. I mean, again, all of us are dads and we have our daughters. And I think I could associate with that emotion, and I just could feel her dad's emotion at that point in time. And that kind of was special. And the other standout was I was heartbroken when South Africa beat the Lionesses. I just didn't see us losing that game, but full marks to Woolward. I mean, good captain, great player.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I think, Wilf, any standout? I know, again, you've just been
Well, I
following, I
mean,
think, again,
not
any
not
standout
about the standout.
memories for you
Yeah,
from the World Cup?
what I'm actually kind of looking forward to right now is the series, test series that's going to take place in India between India and South Africa. And apparently, I've heard some rumors that Rishabh Pant is making comeback. That guy surprises me. He's I think he's stepped out of his grave and he's now kind of ruling every tournament that he goes in. He's so flamboyant. I'm thinking this guy, I think he's actually going to be a
He's
vice
a
captain as well.
character.
I'm not exactly sure, but he's one of those characters that brings life into an otherwise sometimes boring schedule. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the South African ones.
But I'll
Brilliant.
be honest, it's just won't be the same without Virat. So I'm sorry, call me biased, but not having him there is just going to be a little bit of a pull on
I
my
think
heart.
we've got to move on now.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
I'm
Rohit
looking
and
forward to it
Sharma,
as well.
they've done so much for the cricket.
I'm not moving on,
I mean,
mate.
Seriously, when
I
Sachin went
remember.
Oh
out,
no, it's still a
Same
when
here,
great
Sachin
same
time.
went
here.
out, I thought it's never gonna
Yeah.
watch cricket ever again. But then came Rohit, then came Virat, and everything. They changed everything. But I think he's now has some real big superstars. So yeah, we'll have to look at that. And
Let's see.
Good, good, guys. Yeah, I think for me, some of the again quickly standout memories for me from the World Cup was I think when all of our ex players were uh, called onto the ground
Indian
and
ex
had a
players.
feel
Yeah.
of the Indian ex. When I say ours, sorry, uh, the roots always take you back to India, but then again, yeah, sometimes we have to realize we're far away from there and we are here right now. Yeah, so I think the women's getting back their old players, which was
Yeah.
Anjum Chopra, Mithali Raj, and Julan Goswami,
Julan
and giving
Goswami.
them the trophy and making sure that they were involved and they felt part of winning the World Cup was something which really touched my heart as well. And I think really it was nice, a wonderful gesture by the team, which shows they have the heart in the right
Shows
place. They
class.
have the spirit and shows the class. Yep. That being said, I think. It's going to be a wrap for today's show, guys. I think
Yeah.
lots of childhood gully stories, and the memories from our childhood. A look at the World Cup stats and the highlights, and some interesting tidbits from the World Cup. And that's what we had.
So yeah.
Will,
Next time on Cricket Pulse, we'll shift to India and South Africa series, I guess. Well, since Will brought it up, maybe a bit of T20 action as well. So Australia's women's Big Bash. We could also preview the Ashes. I'm looking forward to that.
Mark
Yeah.
Wood
huge,
is making a
So
huge.
comeback. He's getting fit. I'm kind of looking forward. I really hope Mark Wood is actually in the Ashes and he's playing his fit. That lad is an absolute killer if he's in a full form. And his bounces are just going to go past everyone's. That's going to test everyone's nose. Absolutely looking forward to that one. And yeah,
yeah,
of course, Rishabh Pant, the guy. I mean, he's an enigma of his own. So let's see what he's up for
I wouldn't go
the
that
battle
far.
gonna happen.
All right then. So
Brilliant.
yeah.
So
So
thanks for tuning
thanks
in.
for tuning in.
Follow us on our socials. Leave your feedback and catch up on our next episode. Keep the cricket pulse alive.
Yes.
I'm
Until next
Will,
time.
signing off.
Ciao.
See you
This is
later.
George.
That's
See you in
Joe.
the next
Cheers.
And this is Lloyd signing off and have a good day and a good evening wherever you guys are. Bye.